Now we are going to see about subroutines in Perl. Subroutine is a separate body of code designed to perform a particular task. It is same as function in C language. It is the general syntax to define a subroutine. Sub is a keyword. Here you can mention the name of this subroutine, and between this open and close curly bracket you can represent the functionalities. Here in this example, sub area of circle is the subroutine name. Here we are calling this subroutine area of circle and we are passing value 5. Using this $_0, you can get this 5 value. You have multiple parameters or multiple arguments. Suppose we passed, you can collect everything like this. $_0 represent the first value. $_1 that represent that collect the second argument or second parameter is passed. Then that value is assigned for this radius. Then here we are calculating the area of circle using the formula pi r square. It is the pi value r square. And using return keyword, we have returned the calculated value. That value is assigned for area of first circle. After that, using print, we are printing the values. And parameter array @ is called parameter array. All parameters to a subroutine are stored in an array called @. It is parameter array. Here in this example, the subroutine name is area of rectangle. Here we are calling that subroutine area of rectangle and we are passing more number of arguments or parameters 2, 3. So this array of parameter you can collect using this @. So using this @, we are assigning the value for height and width. So 2 will be assigned for height and 3 will be assigned for width. After that, we are calculating the area and we are printing the corresponding height, width, and area. You will get output like this: height is 2, and width is 3, and area 2 into 3 is 6. You will see this example in circle. It is the first example we discussed, area of circle. It is the subroutine we defined here. We are passing 5 and we calculated the area of circle and we are returning that value will be printed here. The another example, area of rectangle. So this is the subroutine. Here we are collecting the value using this $_0. $_0 starting with first parameter 2. Okay, $_1 starting with second parameter 3. We are multiplying this and we are calculating the area and we are printing the height, width, and area. Instead of using this @, you can also collect like this. Once we run this code, Perl example 15, it is 78.5375. So that is the value of area of the circle, and this height, width, and area is 6. That is the output for the second example, area of rectangle. Passing parameter by reference. Here we can change the value of the element or a variable inside a function or inside the subroutine that will reflect the outside. That is called passing parameter by reference. So here in this example, at array, the range of elements from 0 to 5. So hold the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are printing before function call. The elements we are printing here. At array, it will give the elements like this before function call array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then first sub. First sub is nothing but a subroutine. It's written here. In that, what we are doing here, actually we are passing at array. At array we are passing the first element. How we can access $_ of 0. That we are changing as that we are assigning as a string A. $_ of 1 that we are assigning as a B. So when I call this subroutine, we are passing this array as an argument. So those value will change. Early the value is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I change the first and second value as string A and B. Again I am printing the array. So I will get B, A, B, 2, 3, 4, 5. The change happens inside the subroutine, will reflect outside. That is called pass by reference. Then scope of the variables. Generally, scope refer to visibility of the variables. Normally, every variable has global scope. Once defined inside the function, variable has a local scope. If you define any variable in the main program, it has a global scope. If inside any subroutine to define a variable, that have a local scope. Here we have two keywords. One is local, another one is my. You will see the difference between this. Local statement defines variables that do not exist inside the main program. Inside a subprogram, if you define a variable as a local, that will not exist, that will not able to use outside the subroutine. I mean in the main program. Does not exist in the main program. But inside the subroutine and any subroutine call by subroutine. That means that scope will be exist in the subroutine and any subroutine called by the subroutine. If you are calling some other subroutine in the current subroutine, so this local variable scope will be available in that also. But when you use this my statement to define the variables, it defines variable that exists only inside that subroutine. If you call another subroutine inside the current subroutine, my variables cannot have the scope inside that nested subroutine. I will explain in detail with these examples. The first sub is the subroutine name. Here we are calling subroutine and we are passing this argument phi A and phi B. Here we declare two variables, one as local, first var, another one is my, second var. A is this $_0, nothing but this A. It is assigned for first var, and this B is assigned for second var. And here we are printing first var and second var. Here both will get printed. For this we will get 5 times A, and for this we will get 5 times B. Okay, the difference is when I call another subroutine here inside first sub. So if I use first var inside that nested subroutine, another subroutine I called here, right? Inside that, if I use first var and if I printed the value, I will get the value or a string as AAA. But when I declare the variable as my, if I call another subroutine here, Inside that, if I try to print that second VAR, with that value, I won't get there. This B value, I won't get there because this variable scope is available, or the scope is inside this current subroutine only. So we'll discuss with example. Here, example 16. Here, variable third VAR value 5C is assigned for this third VAR, and we have two subroutines. One is this one, first sub, and second sub. Inside the first sub, we are calling this second sub. Say one subroutine, we are calling another subroutine. And this subroutine we are calling here, and we are passing two arguments, one is 5 times A and 5 times B. Inside first subroutine, we are assigning this A, $_A, to this first VAR, and this B is assigned to second VAR, and we are printing the first VAR value and second VAR value, and third VAR is nothing but global. I declared in the main program, and I assign value as CCC. And in second subroutine, and this second subroutine called inside the first subroutine. What we are performing inside the second subroutine means we are just printing the value of first VAR, second VAR, and third VAR. And in main program, we are printing first VAR, second VAR, and third VAR. Run this and check. If you see from main program, first VAR that is declared inside the subroutine. So, and second VAR also inside, that is declaration is inside the subroutine. So that scope is not available in the main. That will not exist in the main program. So that I didn't get any values for first VAR, second VAR. Getting only value for third VAR because I declared here and I assign CC for this third VAR. Now for this display, I'm getting first VAR value, second VAR value, and third VAR value. Now we are going to see the difference between this local and my statement. Here I am calling the second subroutine. Inside that also I am printing first VAR, second VAR, and third VAR. The local, I already told, when you declare a variable as local, the scope will be available in the current subroutine and as well as the subroutine you called here. So for this, you are getting the value for the first VAR. But second VAR is declared as a mine. The scope is available only in this current subroutine. It is not the scope is not there. This subroutine which is called here. It is the difference between my and local. So here when I call this second subroutine for this print second VAR, you are not getting any values. And third VAR, this is outside the subroutine, so it is global. So you can access in the first subroutine or in the second subroutine. But you can access anywhere. Okay. Then next concept is nested subroutine call. Subroutine calls can be nested many level depth. That means you can call subroutine in a current subroutine. So inside that subroutine you can call another subroutine. like that n number of deep you can go. And we can also call a subroutine inside a subroutine like this. Same subroutine is called inside this subroutine. Okay, first sub is the call we are calling. Inside this subroutine piece is first sub. We are just printing the count value here, and we are incrementing the count. We are calling the first sub. We are calling the same subroutine inside that subroutine. So this is also possible. Let's see one example for this. This example 17.pl. The subroutine name is first sub. Okay, we are calling once, and inside that first sub, we are calling the same subroutine. How many times we are going to call? When the count value is less than 100, so it will happen for 100 times. So when the count reaches 100, it will come out. It will stop. Let's check this. Count value each time it get incremented. When count reaches 100, it's like it doesn't call the first sub again, so it stops. The next is file and directories handling. Open function. Using open function, you can open any file. So this is the file name. File name dot extension. Any extension file. Any file you can open. And the file handle you need to mention here. Open using open function, you can able to open a file, and using this file handle you can perform some operations. Here this less than indicates the file is opening in read only mode. If I use greater than before this file name, it indicates the file is open in write only mode. If I use this shift like greater than, 2 times greater than, that means the file is opening in appending mode. When it opens in appending mode, it will not override the existing one. It will append the existing content. And this one plus less than indicates that file are opening in read and write mode. And this plus greater than is used to create a file, and it is in both mode, read and write modes. So here this operation we can perform for the existing file. Okay. When you use this plus greater than, this file will be created and it is in read and write mode. Here in this example, using this open function, we are opening this message.log file in append mode. Okay. Assume that inside that file message.log file there are 2 lines. This message is number 1 and this message is number 2. Assume that these 2 lines are already present in this message.log. Here I open that message.log, the handle I'm creating as log file, and I'm printing using print using this handle. This is message number 3. So this using this handle, I'm printing this content. This is message number 3 that into the message.log. Then with a new line. So next line, this one. This is message number 4 will be printed in that message.log through this handle. After we perform the operations, and we need to close the file using close. Okay. Using that handle, we can close the corresponding file. Okay, once if you open the file, we can see this content. This message is number 1, this message is number 2. Here we open in append form. So these two lines will be appended to the existing one. Example for this. So here we are opening this file, example 18.txt. So here it already contains these two lines, start of the line, appending this line. So here I am opening that file in write mode. This greater than represent that we are opening this file in write mode. This fh is nothing but the handle for this file. If I print this content, start of the line of the file, starting of the file, this will be overwrite the existing one. It will overwrite, and this line will be write into this file using this file handle. Then I'm closing this file. Then again I open this file in read mode. This less than indicate that in read mode I am opening using while through this handle fetch. So this less than and greater than is mandatory. Using this we can able to access the content of the file. If you didn't mention, you won't be able to access the content. Here already the two lines are there. Here when this line executes, the start of line will be present here. So this while loop happens one time and it will print the content of the file. First line, start of the file, you will get as the output. Then again I open the same file ex18.txt in appending mode. Then we are appending this line into that file example 18.txt and we are closing that file. Again we are opening that file plus less than, that means both read and write mode. Again using this while loop we are accessing the content and we are printing the content here $_. So it will happen two times. First start of line will be there and appending this line will update to the existing one. So it will happen two line and it will print both the lines. Let's check this one. Start of the line to this one we are getting for this print. Once we write start of the file into the example 18.txt, in read mode we open and we are printing this one. Then we are appending this line with the existing content, and again in read write mode we are opening here, we are printing the content. That time again we are getting start of the line and then appending this line. Okay, next these are the functions used to handle the directories. mkdir function used to create a new directory. This general syntax mkdir, the directory name, command, you can mention the permissions. For example, mkdir, where you need to create the directory, you can mention the path, and you can, along with that, you can also mention the permissions or read write executable permissions for the directory. Then chdir function is to set directory to be current working directory used for function dir, that is using chdir directory name we can change this new directory, then in this case this new directory as a current working directory. Then open dir function is the syntax. So this open dir is applicable only for the existing directories. If the directories exist already, you can able to open that directory. So which directory we need to open, that name you should mention here. And this is the handle for that directory. Using this handle, we can able to perform redirectory. So that I will explain next slide. So this is an example. Open dir. This is the directory handle name and where the directory is present. If we are going to open the current directory where we are now, so just to mention that. Then close dir function is to close the open directory. Close dir that directory handle name. So here in this case dir means here we should mention dir. Then read dir function. After open dir, that is open the directory. Using this read dir, we can able to read each files or a subdirectories stored in the current directory. We will see an example. In this example, using OpenDIR, we are opening a directory. The path I didn't mention. I mentioned that. That means I am going to open the current directory. So my current directory is nothing but Perl. I am currently inside Perl directory. The directory I am opening using this script. Then here rdir cannot open directory. That means if the directory does not present in that location, what I mentioned here, it will throw this whatever we are mentioning here. Can't open the directory or $! That means it will give the error, what type of error occurs when the directory is not present. So that will get displayed in this terminal. Then after opening that directory, using this read dir, that handle, directory handle. So using this read dir, I can able to collect the files and the subdirectories present in the dir. So that will collect it here. So inside while loop means, so how much files and subdirectories are there. So that much time it will execute and it will print the $! File name. That indicates it will print the files and as well as subdirectories and also the hidden files and directories. After that, using close dir, I close that current directory. Then I create a new directory using mkdir, that is used to create a new directory. So in this path I am creating. I am in Perl directory. Inside Perl, I am creating a directory named created. Then using print pwd, you should mention inside the bracket. So this pwd command gives the current path. Now here if you see, now currently my path is inside Perl. So we'll run this. Okay. Here for this print, we are getting all the directories, subdirectories and files, swap file and hidden files, everything. So here created a directory using mkdir. Created is the name of the directory. So using this pwd is the current path where I am working. Okay. I'm there inside Perl. Using ls command, I list out the files and directories, subdirectories. So here created, directory is created. Here using mkdir we created using ls this list out all the subdirectories and files. Here it is there. Then chdir is used to change the directory, change the current working directory. Here I mentioned that the path inside Perl inside created. So the current working directory, now currently I am going to work inside the directory created. If I give pwd, it shows that currently I am here inside Perl created. Using the chdir you can change the current working directory. Then inside that created directory, using open, okay, I'm opening a file, read and write mode. Okay, plus greater than represent read and write mode. File.txt file will be created. This plus greater than is used to create the file in read and write mode. So I am creating a file inside the created directory. If suppose it is not able to create, it will throw this error or this message in the terminal, cannot open the file. After this, using ls, I'm going to list the contents. So if you see inside created, for this ls you are getting file.txt, file is created. Then using rename method you can able to rename a file. This first you should mention the existing file name, file.txt, and then the name which you want to replace, file new. Instead of file, I want to rename with file new, file new.txt. So using rename, I rename the file. Then again using this ls, I'm printing. So after rename, you see the file name becomes file new.txt. Then this unlink is a method used to delete the file. Unlink with double quote, I mentioned this file new.txt, and again I print ls. You see after unlink this, after this print statement, for this ls we don't get any files because using unlink we deleted the created file. Then here you see here I am opening a directory using this opendir inside Perl new, but you see there is no file directory as new. Here there is no new directory. I'm trying to open a directory new. So if I try to open that, will through this one, cannot open directory. Okay. Or no such file or directory that we are getting for this dollar explainer. Then using man command, we can get the detail about each commands, each sections. So for example, if you want to know about a regular expression in Perl, you can type Perl arg. Okay, man arg. Give the details about the regular expression concept in Perl. So likewise, you can learn all these session concepts. So these are all the basics things you should know in Perl programming and scripting. So that's all. Thank you.